What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Wednesday, college basketball, a really good slate today. Just like in all my videos, I'm going to go over every game for you today, give you my prediction against the spread. I cleaned up the whiteboard too. I'm just about in transition. Maybe I'll have a whiteboard winning pick today. Maybe I don't. I don't have one prepared. If there's a certain game where I just feel like it's worth putting on the whiteboard, we'll go ahead and update that today. But I'm pretty much ready to transition the channel over to just college basketball and college basketball only. That'll probably happen officially, though, after this weekend. We still got two massive games in the NFL. I did drop a video yesterday. If you missed it, check it out. We're about 100 likes short so far, which is quicker than it was last week. Told you guys, if you get 400 likes on that video I posted yesterday, I'll drop another bank builder parlay. I got one ready to go. It combines both games. I bet $1,000 on it myself. So guys, if you're interested in that parlay, just swing by the video I posted yesterday, click that like button, drop a comment, get those likes up to 400 so I can drop that parlay for everybody for this upcoming weekend in NFL. And just real quick, freshly reminder, guys, crazy numbers I've been putting up the NFL. I've already sent the text list one play in the NFL for this upcoming weekend. It's looking like I got 3, maybe 4 more. So we're going to have a big pile of picks here for NFL weekend, even though there's only 2 games, but they're big games. And I do have one pretty significant pick. Just got to look over a little bit more data once it gets the approval that I think it's good to go. I'll send that out to the client list as well. If you guys are interested in my premium picks, of course, the link is always in the description. danspicks.net. That's my website. I'll add you right onto a text list and everything will go right to your phone. The plays, the odds of the play, and how many units to put on each one. And that's very important. Speaking of units, speaking of premium, speaking of college basketball, which is today's video, coming off a 2-3 day, we cashed on Texas and Texas Tech. So the state of Texas was good to us. Took a shot on SMU. The line made absolutely no sense. Louisville is 20 times better than SMU, but SMU is a favorite. So we took a shot there, missed on that, missed on Iowa. And then unbelievably, I mean, just crazy stuff. Typical college basketball. UCLA up 4 points. One last 3-pointer at the absolute buzzer with like half a second. And our UCLA -3 bet goes from a winner to a loser right at the end of the game. So a 3-2 day becomes 2-3. We lose around 1.5 units on the day. Not a big deal. Drop in the bucket. Speaking of unit size, guys, very important, man. A unit for me is 2.5% of my entire bankroll. So even on some of these days where we're having losing picks, because they will obviously be in the mix, betting on college basketball, it's just important to know how to manage your money. That's what I do mostly on the client list. I actually had to remove somebody from the list last night. We go 2-3, and somebody that just joined my premium yesterday actually replied to the text thread, which is only for the delivery of text. It's not like, if you guys are on there, there's no need to say like thank you when I send the picks out. There's no need to reply. If you have a question on your subscription, sure. If you have an issue or you're unclear on one of the plays, sure, feel free to reply to it. But somebody just completely vented like their frustration, which does violate the website policy. Look, forewarning, it's sports betting. There's gonna be losing picks almost every single time I bet, especially in college basketball. It's a volume thing. You just got to send out tons and tons of bets every single week and just try to win a majority of them. So on any given day, there's going to be winning picks. There's going to be losing picks. Sometimes you get a sweep. Sometimes you get a reverse sweep. Sometimes you lose an entire week. If you can't handle a little bit of losing in sports betting, then just don't get involved, because you might get emotional. You might chase your losses. You might not have the discipline, and you might actually start to really affect your life negatively. So just understand that there's always going to be volatility in sports betting. And if you can't handle even a 2-3 day, which is about even, which is literally a drop in the bucket, don't sign up. I don't need your money. You guys see my bet slips. I even showed on the previous video I posted a screenshot of just one of my many accounts. I have like 9 or 10 sports books on my phone, almost 20 grand just on the FanDuel account. I bet tens of thousands of dollars on sports every week. I don't need your money. I do this mainly just to try to teach people how to manage your money. What's a unit size? 2.5% of your bankroll. How much to put where based on probability. It's more of a teaching thing than like, oh, I'm trying to make money off sports picks. I charge $30. Most people charge hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I'm not in it for the money, guys. Just trying to teach people the right way. So if you're one of those people that actually feel like you have to emotionally vent about a 2-3 day, then I just don't even want you involved, and you'll be immediately removed from the text list. So with that being said, let's dig into these games. I got Pickett Sports ready to go. So let me share the screen with you and we'll run through them. Let's run through these. There's not Pickett Sports. Where's Pickett Sports? The back tab. Always in the back tab. Cool. It's a big slate, guys. It's a big one. And I'll leave these numbers here for you guys to digest too. Utah, Houston. You know, Utah's on a decent little run here. How many was it? 2 in a row or 3 in a row? Let me just double check. Utah basketball starting to get a little bit of momentum here. What do we got? Utah Utes. Come on, load. So they beat BYU by 1. On the road, beat TCU. At home, beat Oklahoma State prior to that. So they're on a nice little 3-game winning streak. Great. Congratulations. It's done. They're going to get fried here. I'll lay the points with Houston. I think the offense is going to struggle here. Maybe look at Houston first half, Houston full game. Anything under 20, I'd have to lay the points with Houston. And that's a little bit of a risk because Houston is not really an offensive juggernaut. So when you're talking these huge spreads with Houston specifically, it can get a little tight at times. But in this spot, I just think the fact that Utah's won 3 games probably takes a line that would be like 25 down here into the upper teens. So I'll lay the points with Houston in that one. Army, Holy Cross. I got to go Holy Cross here. Lay the point. -102. Fair price. Pick 'em game. Furman, VMI. I like Furman here. They're going to get the win. Do I want to lay 7.5 though in this spot with Furman? 7.5 with Furman in this spot. This is a pass, man. This is a tough one to bet on, but I'd probably still take the points here with VMI. Robert Morris, Bob Morris, Youngstown State. I'll go Bob Morris here. Give me that bucket. I'll take the 2.5. That's a tight game. Xavier St. John's. If you could switch where this game is being played, I'd be all over the Musketeers here. I bet Xavier at home over Villanova. I don't mind Xavier at home. On the road, catching 8.5. I think I'd need to see like 11.5 for me to get involved with Xavier. I'd have to lay the points with St. John's. Florida, Gamecocks, 10.5. Man, South Carolina's been less than expected this year. Can they do enough at home? I mean, this is an opportunity to actually get a big-time signature win. Florida, they've had some slow starts in recent games, but they're the way, way more talented team. 10.5 on the road. We saw Auburn go there. They took care of business on a night where I thought, Carolina might show up. Auburn obviously significantly better than Florida, but I'm still going to lay it. I'm going to lay it with Florida. They're the significantly better team. They should handle their business. I'll lay 10.5. Kansas TCU. Maybe they are adjusting the spread. That's not why it's not on the screen right now, but it should be available. So let me just pop on a FanDuel on my phone real quick. I'm pretty sure this is 6 or 6.5. I saw it earlier, so let me just double check with you guys. If FanDuel will load here. Probably trying to limit me because I just withdrew $13K just from my weekly earnings from these guys. Kansas laying 6.5. I'll lay it. Kansas, man, they gotta clean this up. Kansas, look, if anybody knows the Big 12, Bill Self, all this stuff, they're gonna get hot down the stretch. They're gonna improve. TCU off that big Baylor upset. Nah, this is a great spot at a very reasonable price with the Jayhawks. I'll lay it. I'll take Kansas. Citadel and Wofford, lay it. GW, UMass. This is an excellent game. Really, really good. And I will go with UMass. I'm going to go with UMass at home. I like GW, man. I like GW. I really like him at home. I'm going to go with UMass. I'm going to go money line here. I don't even want to lay 1.5 buckets. Crazy things could happen in a game like this. Should be right down to the end. Indiana Northwestern, I will lay the points here. I can't trust Indiana really much in general, especially on the road. Northwestern needs this one. I'll lay the 5.5. That's reasonable. Mercer, UNC Greensboro, I have no idea. On that one. IUPUI and Green Bay. 1.5. That line looks short, man. I'll go Green Bay here. Give me that 1.5. Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech. Some bottom dwellers here, the ACC. These teams both stink. I will lay the 5.5 with Georgia Tech, though. Virginia Tech, man, for them to even have a prayer in a game, they have got to at least be in Blacksburg. I'll take Georgia Tech as bad as they've looked. Syracuse Orange, coming off a nice win over Notre Dame the other day. Should have bet that. Was eyeballing it. Couldn't pull the trigger. They're going to get flattened here. I'll lay the 14.5 with Clemson. Bad spot. Some of these haven't loaded. I'm not going to bother looking at them. Not really high-end games. Western Carolina and East Tennessee State. That line looks a bit high. I thought this would be more like an 11. But Western Carolina is so unbelievably bad. Horrible. I'm going to take the points, but that's a tough one. Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Oakland. Yeah, give me Oakland. Give me Oakland at home. I'll take that 1.5. Coastal and Georgia Southern. I'll take the 5.5 with Coastal there. JMU and Old Dominion. I'm not laying 4.5 on the road. And Old Dominion's not good, but I can't do it. I'm not laying 4.5 in that spot. I'll take the points. South Florida Bulls versus Charlotte. Charlotte, man. Charlotte's bad. Charlotte's bad. Can Charlotte stay in this one? Can Charlotte steal this one? God, this one's tough. I'm gonna go USF. Longwood and Radford. There's a lot of good games, man. Wednesday has some good games. Not necessarily for betting, but for entertainment value. Really, really good basketball. You guys should try to watch as much as you can. I'm going to go with Radford here, man. I'll go money line, -130. High Point, South Carolina, upstate. I'll lay the points with High Point, but they're overrated. That line's too big, but there's no way my money would go on South Carolina, upstate. High Point gets it done. Lehigh and American, I will take the points. Give me Lehigh plus the 6. UNC Asheville, Gardner Webb. UNC Asheville at home might have been tempting. I'll still take the 1.5 with them. No idea on that one. Valpo and Drake. 14.5. Boy, that feels a bit steep. This is undoubtedly going to be a comfortable win for Drake. But 14.5 just feels a little bit steep here. I thought this would be more like 10.5, 11. It feels like it's about a bucket too big. It's an ugly one. I'll take the points with Valpo. Hopefully they can hang in there. Boise State, Colorado State. Great game here. And I'm going to go with Boise. I will take the 1.5. I think they get this one done. Temple in North Texas. That spread looks big. That spread looks huge, man. I thought this would be a 5.5 or a 6. Give me the points with Temple. I'll take the 9.5. Give me the points. LaSalle, St. Louis here. Spread looks about right. That's a sharp line. That's where I would put it. And I'll lay it. I'll lay it with the Billikens. Fordham and Loyola Chicago. I'll lay the points there. UIC, Evansville. I have no idea, man. I haven't watched a lot of games from the Purple Aces this year, to be honest. So I just don't really have a good opinion on that. USC here catching 6.5 versus Nebraska. And no, I'll go ahead and lay the 5.5 available with Nebraska here. USC, nope. Bad team. They got that one nice win at home over, who was that, man? I bet USC money line in premium the other day. It wasn't their last game. It was the one prior. They got it done. They got it. Oh, Iowa. But clearly, after what we've seen from Iowa recently, and the reason I bet Iowa last night was because the line looked ridiculous. I'm like, really? Iowa is laying almost 10 points? I thought they'd flatten Minnesota in the ultimate, try to save your season, try to save the coach's job, dig in one last time on your home court, but Iowa's horrendous. So I think even that USC win over Iowa, although it's like a Big Ten game and Iowa's this brand name, I think that was kind of a phony win for USC. USC's not good. I like Nebraska at home. I'll lay the 5.5. Georgia, Arkansas. Great game, man. Great game. I didn't like the way Georgia looked in their last game offensively, and that scares me. This is such a desperation spot for Arkansas, but they're just not good. But Georgia's not even at home. I got to go Arkansas, man. I'm going to go Arkansas here, money line. Come on, Calipari, get one done. Texas A&M, Ole Miss. I got to look up the line for you guys on this one. I'm not letting this game get by here. Texas A&M, Ole Miss. Texas A&M, Ole Miss. Where are we? Where's the line? 3.5. Texas A&M catching 3.5. Chris Beard, Buzzsaw, 3.5. Ole Miss is off that loss, right? Didn't they lose that last game? Ole Miss. Let me check. Didn't they lose to Miss State? Was that their last game? Their last game was, and they got Missouri on deck. Oof. SEC this year. Yeah, they lost to Miss State. So they had the Egg Bowl. They lost by 3. Now you come home right before you go back on the road to Missouri. So you have to get this one. This has got to be an inspired effort. Problem is, I think the better team's A&M. 3.5 is a lot in what should be a completely down to the wire game. Man, this is going to be a great game to watch. I'm going to go with Ole Miss. I'm going to go with Ole Miss at home. They got to get this one. They got to lock in some free throws at the end if they need it. Cover that spread. Hopefully there's no buzzer beater 3-point shot to ruin the spread, just like that UCLA bet. I'm still sour about that. Should have been a 3-2 winning day. That's how it goes, guys. It's sports betting. You can't win them all. Florida State and Cal. What a beautiful game. Not horrible, man. Horrible game. Florida State and Cal. These teams are bad, man. I'm going to go Florida State, though. I'll take them on the money line. Nevada, Utah State. This is almost always a Utah State spot. God, 6.5 feels too much, man. This should be like a 3.5. I'm going with Nevada. Give me the 6.5. I almost never bet against Utah State at Utah State. K-State and Baylor. It's just situational basketball. Give me Baylor. I'll lay the 12. K-State's been less than impressive this year. Baylor off to TCU, complete upset. They're at home. They got to get right. They got to play good. I think the shots fall for the Bears on a Wednesday night. They get it done there. San Diego State and Air Force. Let me look that one up. That's probably monster line. But I'll give you guys my prediction since it's a late night game. How monster is it? 13.5. 13.5? That's not too bad. I'll lay it with San Diego State. And then we got Miami and Stanford. Stanford coming off a little East Coast win. You got to go Stanford. Miami? Who's betting on Miami? I can't even believe this is 10.5. Every single spread for the Miami Hurricanes should be 40 or 30, depending on the opponent. No, Miami's cooked, bro. They're cooked. 10.5 is like actually pretty reasonable. Give me Stanford, but you know what? It's college hoops. You just cannot touch teams of this caliber because a game like this, Miami might just try. Maybe just once they actually focus and they could easily win this game. Plus 450 on the money line. They could easily be a big underdog, or they could just get absolutely nuked, mentally disengaged. They could lose by 40 on their trip to the West Coast. So I'll lay the 10 with Stanford, but I just don't have much choice with that. In terms of the whiteboard winning free pick, I'm just going to hold off on that until probably after this next weekend. Once we get done with NFL or only having the Super Bowl, once we get through this last round of playoffs, it's just going to be full focus on college basketball. I am still using most of my time to just really, really pick apart what remaining days of the NFL we have left. Obviously, the amount of money the NFL has been generating or I've been generating on the NFL is just substantial. And I do want to make sure I get every last little drop out of football season. But hey, scroll through my college basketball videos last year, February, March, absolutely ate. And I plan on doing that again. So looking forward to it. Nice little bounce back here on a Wednesday coming off a 2-3 day. We'll see what we can put together. I like some of these games. I think we're going to have a pretty decent little winning ticket. Again, link in the description to my website. See you in the next video.